Washington that they demanded the right to vote. Now today, those women, they were tripped, insulted, hospitalized, but they knew that that fight for the vote was important for them, their families, and this country. Today, after Hillary Clinton put 65 million cracks in the hardest and highest glass ceiling, we are marching on Washington for similar reasons.
Over the course of history, women have been viewed as inferior to men in society. As time proceeded, women found ways to take action in order to advocate for equal rights, which included gaining property rights, the right to vote, reproductive rights, and the right to work for equal pay. Despite the tremendous progress made in the struggle for gender equality, women still face violence, discrimination, and institutional barriers to equal participation in society. One of the ways in which women are able to protest for rights today is through a worldwide protest that was held on January 21, 2017, to advocate legislation and policies regarding human rights and other issues, including women's rights, immigration reform, healthcare reform, reproductive rights, the natural environment, LGBT rights, racial equality, and freedom of religion. Between 3,267,134 Between 3,267,134 and 5,246,670 people participated in the Women's March in the United States.
So since I've been in Seattle, I've been a part of quite a few organized protests. I was at the Women's March. I've been at immigration and DACA rallies to try to protect undocumented students and undocumented youth. And then, of course, I've been at several of the Black Lives Matter rallies and the MLK marches and things like that. I choose to participate because I believe you have to be an active agent in change if you want to see anything happen. Nothing is accomplished by being passive. And I've always been personally very convicted by people like Ellie Wessel and Desmond Tutu and others that have said that to remain neutral when oppression is taking place is to take the side of the oppressor. So, like, basically, if you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. And I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to make sure that every one of my students is, and every one of my children's friends and my children themselves and everybody has the same opportunities and outcomes available to them.
The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was held in Washington, D.C. in August of 1963 and was one of the largest political rallies for human rights in U.S. history. This is when Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his now iconic I Have a Dream speech, and 250,000 people gathered to advocate for civil and economic rights for African Americans. This is a great example of how powerful peaceful assembly can be in the way that the march played a massive role in helping to pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin.
Continued peaceful demonstrations, kneeling or locking arms in defiance of President Donald Trump's repeated calls on team owners and fans to crack down on athletes protesting during the national anthem. Demonstrations appear to be primarily aimed at displaying solidarity between football players, owners, and fans in defending athletes' right to freedom of peaceful assembly, rather than explicitly drawing attention to racial injustice and police brutality in the United States, the initial goal of the protest movement.